Hi everybody, my name is Tracy Driggers. I'm here to talk to you today about the nest and nesting specifics. This is something that was up for review and we needed to do a little bit of re-education on, plus we've had quite a few new people in the NICU, and this is also going to be shown to the residents. So a couple of how, when, and why we do the nest. Why do we disinfect the nest? This is done to eliminate any bacterial load that is on the baby's bed and the immediate surroundings. And it's also, the ultimate goal is to eliminate cross-contamination and prevent infection, because a baby getting an infection is not a birthright. No baby should get an infection. When do we clean the nest? This is done after we get report, after every shift change. What is used to disinfect the nest? The Super Sandy Cloth wipe is used. Be sure that you wear gloves when you use the wipes. If a baby is known to have a C. diff infection, you will use Dispatch. How do we disinfect the nest? So it's very simple, and it only takes a few minutes to do. You're initially going to gel your hands, put gloves on, and you disinfect your nest. I'm going to go over some specifics in just a few minutes. The biggest take-home point is you have to use friction or elbow grease, as Paulette says, when you're disinfecting your nest. Once you have disinfected one nest, you remove your gloves, you do your hand hygiene, which is either washing your hands or gelling your hands, and you put another set of gloves on, you move to your next nest. One of the other things that needs to be done is disinfecting your cow or computer on wheels by wiping the top, really wiping off the keyboard. Sometimes it's really hard to get in those grooves, and wiping your chair. Just sidebar as well, anytime you move chairs from one baby's bedside to another when you have parents come in and visit, make sure that those chairs are also disinfected. Going back to your desk, I apologize. Also make sure that when you disinfect the top of your desktop along with your keyboard, make sure that you get the mouse along with the scanner. That's also very important. And also wipe off your writing utensils, whether it's pen, markers, highlighters, Sharpies, whatever you use to help you chart throughout the shift. And also your unit cell phone. Currently, all of us have our own cell phones on us, our personal cell phones. Our current practice is putting those in a bag while we are here at work. Make sure that you use the phones called phone soap up at the front desk right by the secretaries. All of the parents that visit should also have their phones in a bag. And always make sure that hand sanitizer is close by, and always offer that to them when they're kangarooing their baby. So as far as nest disinfecting specifics, what we have here is we pulled just an older isolette. This is something from the good old days. We pretty much use giraffes, but we wanted to get an older one just because it's a little bit different as far as disinfecting it. So I'm going to kind of go through the motions and show you what I do. And I do get made fun of. You better watch it. Because I use lots of wipes, but there's a method to my madness. So I kind of pull them out the top. I like to get like a bunch of wipes in each hand. And basically what I've heard before is as long as these wipes are really wet, you know, they're doing what they need to be doing. If you feel at any point the wipes are getting kind of on the drier side, you need to get new wipes. So Some take-home messages. As far as disinfecting the nest, I know a lot of you guys have been doing this for a really long time, but again, we just needed some re-education, so that's why we're doing this. So basically you want to start at the top of where your equipment is. The nest, a baby's nest, is basically anything you picture around the patient. So it is the bed, any sort of respiratory device, IV pumps, as well as any equipment behind the bed. So we're going to start at the top part, okay? So I'm just going to start with the scale. Again, you want to get like some elbow grease in there. The other thing that you need to pay close attention to are your high touch areas. On any sort of bed, you have any lever, any sort of roller, like this bed has these rollers on the side here, to really pay close attention to that. This kind of gives us our bed angles. These are tricky little jokers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right on the inside of this rim and really scrub it. So, and again, I got both hands going, which is going to save me time. I'm made fun of a lot because everybody says I'm slow. So anyway, I'm up for anything that's going to save me time. So just opening these doors. I'm really cleaning good. Another important piece is really getting onto the inside of these doors. You have to think about when you're doing a baby's assessment, where are you? You're doing this. So that's another really important reason, you know, when I talk about, you know, hand hygiene or gelling your hands, you want to gel it up to here because this is where your hands lie, whether it's in an old isolate or whether it's in a giraffe, same thing. So in this particular bed, you have these levers, and the levers are kind of hollowed out in the back, but you have to think about when you're going in a baby's bed, your finger kind of goes to the back of the lever, so that's potentially contaminating that back there. Oh, and I'm wiping off the green on the dots. Look at that. Really cleaning. So anyway, you want to pay close attention because that's a really high touch area. You don't want to clean inside the baby's bed unless you have any sort of visible soil. Sometimes there's breast milk or formula that gets sprayed inside the bed. You might see like a drop of blood. At that point, yes, you can wipe it off. I typically just wipe that particular area. I know that a lot of people have verbalized concern in the past as far as, okay, well, you're putting this very strong wipe in the bed. It evaporates very quickly. There's a lot of alcohol in this. So, from what I've been told, it is okay for us to do this. Now, if you have any sort of visible anything on the door as well, you do the same thing, but only if it's visible. Sometimes if it's between the double wall with this old isolate, you pull these little buttons up, comes right up. Okay, so we're going to continue to kind of take it down. Actually, no, I might have gotten some spots on it, but anyway, we're going to kind of continue to take it down. This is another high touch area right here, which can be like your control panel. I already got these knobs, so that's pretty good. These can also be a little tricky. These little rubber cleaners, porthole thingies on your bed. One of the things that I wanted to remind people, something that I still do, is I will get like a breast milk syringe. Make sure that you put it in a glove before you stick it in the bottom of your bed. A lot of us still do that, but I've also seen like a lot of the syringes we've just been sticking in there. Make sure you put it in a glove. because that's another thing is just be cognizant about the foot of the bed is still considered dirty. Okay, so we're going to move on. Here's like a porthole on the end here, which, you know, we don't go in too terribly much, but again, I want to make sure that I wipe that off. I'm going to get on the inside rim really well. Come down to the shelf. Okay, some handles we need to really get up underneath. On this side over here, you have a humidity chamber, which is something I think a lot of the newer people, since we use giraffes, aren't really used to, but make sure that you clean this as well. We're going to get down to the drawers. So what I do when I pull the drawer out, I always clean like the top rim of the drawer, and I kind of go on the inside a little bit. You know, you just have to kind of think of where you touch. Another thing that I do, if the baby has a pack of wipes inside the drawer with, you know, with their diapers, I usually actually wipe off the top of the wipes. You have to think about, you know, when you usually access those wipes is when a baby has a really nasty diaper, so you might be going in and out of those wipes a couple different times with your dirty gloves. So I usually wipe off the top of the little wipe casing. Again, another high-touch area is right underneath here, underneath these drawers. Any bed that you are disinfecting, this is a really important area. Under any type of handle, any type of hidden area. And guys, it's taken me a little bit, you know, longer to do this just because I'm talking. It's hard for me to chew gum and do anything else at the same time. So I'm going slow. But now what I'm going to do, because I kind of went all the way down, I'm just going to like get rid of these wipes. I want to wipe off my monitor. I know these buttons are used a whole bunch. So this knob, not so much, but make sure that you also clean this. Okay. And you also have your cables. Make sure these are also clean. So once you have your bed disinfected, you want to make sure that you clean behind your bed because that is also a part of your nest. And if there's any feeding pumps, oh, I forgot to clean the pump over there, I think. So I had a baby the other day that was on like 27 calorie formula. So I had a really nice restocked bedside when I, you know, after shift change, was doing my nest, and when I looked behind the bed, the chucks that was under the formula, I had syringes and everything, it was great, but that chucks was really nasty. Like it had, you could tell it had been there for a few days. So always make sure that the chucks is new as well underneath your supplies. Chucks is used a lot when it comes to the nest. Anything that you bring into the nest needs to be on a chucks. before you do any sort of procedure, IV start or anything, placing an OG tube, anything like that, is put on a chucks and carried into the nest. Specifically with your IV pumps, again, you know, we touch these every hour in the NICU. So, I want to make sure that these are also like wiped off. These can be, the clips on the syringe pump has a lot of angles on it, so just make sure that you get underneath it really well. And this is also a pretty high touch area right here. What's this? Okay. So when talking about the different kind of beds as far as disinfecting, this is going to be attached to the nest up here in the education module up in Siberia. I'll just leave it on the IV pump for you guys to come look at, but this has specifics on it as far as what you need to do for the different kind of beds. I just basically did an old isolate, but some of the things, again, that you need to pay close attention to are high-touch areas. On the radiant warmer, make sure that you do the insides as well as the outsides of the plexiglass on the radiant warmer, and just go top to bottom and pay close attention to those door handles underneath here. Those are considered to be high-touch areas. The giraffes, the same thing. Make sure that you not only disinfect the outsides of the doors, but also the insides of the doors. Because when you gel, you need to gel all the way up to your elbows because of when you're doing an assessment or when you're getting in the bed. A bassinet, usually when I clean a bassinet, it's just on the top rim and a little bit on the inside of it. I don't get the wipes too close to the babies. And also, a lot of the bassinets are very different, it seems like. We have many different shapes and whatnot. Just use your judgment. Just use your judgment and just clean the rail up on the top of the bed. A lot of the bassinets have cabinet doors that'll open. Again, just make sure that you get those handles really well. Those are high-touch areas. An open crib. Something that I have noticed people have just been cleaning like the top rung of the bed. All of the rungs need to be cleaned from top to bottom. And I kind of do like a circular motion at the bottom of like each rung. So, and then when you get to the bottom of the bed, make sure that you clean, usually there's like a shelf underneath the bed, make sure that you clean that top rail, as well as a little bit inside the shelf where your supplies are. And let me see. So I think that is really about all when it comes to disinfecting the nest. You guys let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thanks.